Picture this: a world where your every word, your every action is fueled by intent, where silence is not just the absence of sound, but the foundation of your power. In a society obsessed with noise, we often forget the most dangerous weapon we possess isn't our ability to speak, but our ability to remain silent. True strength is not about filling the air with words, but about knowing when to speak, and more importantly, when to say nothing at all. You see, silence is the ultimate weapon of the warrior. Those who master it shape their own destiny. Today, I'm about to give you 7 life-changing lessons on how to grow in silence and take control of what you say. The world may be loud, but the silent ones? They are the ones who truly rise. Are you ready to embrace the quiet and unlock your inner power? The more you think, the more you realize there's less to say. In today's world, we're surrounded by constant chatter. Everyone feels the need to be heard, to speak their mind, to share their opinions. The world has become a place where noise is abundant and silence is rare. But what if I told you that true strength doesn't come from being the loudest in the room? It comes from thinking deeply and speaking thoughtfully. When you speak less and think more, you unlock a power that many overlook, the power of clarity. When you give yourself the time and space to think, your mind becomes sharper, your thoughts become clearer, and your actions become more intentional. The world tells you that in order to make an impact, you need to constantly speak up, express your opinion, and make your voice heard. But true wisdom comes when you step back, pause, and reflect. It's in that silence that you'll discover a deeper understanding of the world, yourself, and the path you need to take. Think of the most impactful figures in history. They weren't the ones shouting the loudest, constantly filling the air with words. Instead, they were the ones who took time to reflect, process their thoughts, and speak only when it truly mattered. When you spend more time thinking, your words become more powerful. They are no longer wasted on trivial matters or mindless chatter. Instead, your words are deliberate, they carry weight, and they have the ability to influence. By practicing silence and thinking more, you develop a sense of purpose in what you say. Your words will be measured, precise, and filled with intention. You won't feel the need to constantly express every thought that crosses your mind. Instead, you'll be more selective, speaking only when you have something valuable to contribute. And when you do speak, people will listen. They'll recognize that you don't speak to fill the air. You speak because you have something meaningful to say. This is the true power of speaking less and thinking more. As you cultivate this habit, you'll begin to realize something incredible. The more you think, the less you'll need to say. Your thoughts become clearer, your intentions more focused, and your impact stronger. Silence becomes a tool of strength. You start to trust in the power of quiet reflection and allow your actions to speak louder than your words. So practice silence, embrace the power of thinking deeply, and let your words become the reflections of your inner strength and clarity. Your words are a reflection of your mind, and your mind is the creator of your reality. Everything you say carries energy. Every word that leaves your mouth sends out vibrations into the world, whether you realize it or not. Your words have the power to uplift, to inspire, to create. But they also have the power to harm, to drain, and to mislead. This is why it is so important to recognize that your words are not just sounds, they are energy, and that energy is either adding to the world or taking away from it. Consider this. How many times have you spoken words that didn't align with your true intentions? How many times have you said something just to fill a space, without considering the impact of what you're saying? This happens more often than you might think. People speak carelessly, without thinking about the true power of their words. But what you say and how you say it becomes part of the energy you put into the world. If you waste that energy on empty, meaningless words, you're not only draining your own vitality, but you're also contributing to the noise and chaos around you. Words are powerful. They are the building blocks of communication, but they can also be the foundation of destruction if misused. When you speak without thought, your energy gets scattered. It's like trying to spread a small amount of light over a vast space. The more you talk carelessly, the less light you actually shine. But when you speak intentionally, when you choose your words carefully, your energy becomes focused and powerful, like a laser beam cutting through the darkness. Imagine your words as currency. Every time you speak, you're spending that currency. How often are you spending it on things that don't serve you? On gossip, on negativity, on things that don't build you or others up? The truth is, you can't afford to waste your words. The more selective you are with your language, the more value you give to your words, and the greater impact they will have. When you speak with intention and purpose, you start to see the transformation in your life. Your words will bring you closer to your goals, to your relationships, and to your ultimate vision. They will create the world around you that reflects the power you possess within. Now think about your thoughts. Your thoughts are the foundation of your words. If you're constantly filled with negative thoughts, those thoughts will spill over into your speech. But if you work on mastering your mind and controlling your inner dialogue, your words will become a reflection of that discipline. Your speech will no longer be a random series of words thrown together in haste, but rather a powerful tool to create and shape your reality. Your mind is the creator of your world, and your words are the manifestation of your mind. If you want to change your life, you have to change your words. Start by becoming aware of what you say. Are your words contributing to your growth, or are they holding you back? Are they adding energy to your life, or are they draining it? Recognize that every time you speak, you are using a form of energy that has the potential to change the course of your life. Spend that energy wisely and watch how your life transforms. Speak with purpose, and your words will become a force that shapes your reality. The silent warrior doesn't need to speak loudly. His actions scream the loudest. In a world that values noise, attention, and visibility, it can be easy to fall into the trap of thinking that in order to be respected, you must constantly speak up, make noise, or assert yourself. But in reality, the most powerful individuals are often those who don't have to shout to be heard. True respect is earned not by how loudly you speak, but by how deeply you listen and how confidently you act without needing constant validation. When you choose to speak less and be more intentional with your words, people begin to respect you more, not less. Why? Because in a society where everyone is constantly vying for attention, someone who speaks thoughtfully and acts decisively stands out. People begin to pay attention to what you do rather than just what you say. And the truth is, what you do will always matter more than what you say. Words can be fleeting, but actions have a lasting impact. The silent warrior, whether in martial arts, business, or any aspect of life, knows that the true measure of strength is not in how loudly you express yourself, but in how much strength you have to remain composed, calm, and silent when needed. This is not about being passive or silent for the sake of being distant. This is about the power of choosing your moments carefully. In the quietness of your actions, there is a strength that words cannot capture. People will notice that you don't need to constantly explain yourself. Your presence alone commands respect because it reflects confidence and self-assuredness. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. Your actions and the strength behind your silence do that for you. Silence, in this sense, is a demonstration of confidence. It's the ability to walk into a room without needing to fill the silence with words just to make your presence known. It's the ability to let your results speak for themselves, knowing that the more you prove yourself, the less you need to say. People naturally gravitate towards those who are sure of themselves, those who can maintain their peace and focus, even when everyone around them is frantic. This doesn't mean you avoid speaking altogether, or that you should never express yourself. It means you understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remain silent. People respect those who are comfortable in their own silence. They respect those who don't need to make a constant noise to show they're important. Your quiet confidence speaks louder than any words you could ever say. And in that silence, you create an aura of strength and authority that commands attention without needing to demand it. Think of some of the most revered figures in history, whether in sports, business, or philosophy. They weren't always the loudest or the most outspoken, but they became icons because they focused on their actions rather than their words. Their results did the talking for them. This is the true power of silence. It gives you the opportunity to focus, to act with precision, and to demonstrate through your actions that you have nothing to prove. Respect comes not from what you say, but from who you are and how you conduct yourself. So the next time you feel the urge to speak out, ask yourself, is this necessary? Will my words add value or distract from the bigger picture? The more you practice restraint, the more you'll find that respect follows you naturally. Your silence is not a sign of weakness, but rather an expression of strength, discipline, and self-assurance. When you choose to speak less, people will start to listen more, because they know that when you do speak, it's something worth hearing. Just because you think it doesn't mean you should say it. In our fast-paced, reaction-driven world, many people believe that the moment a thought crosses their mind, it must be expressed. We've been taught to speak our truth, share our opinions, and make sure we're heard. But not every thought is worthy of being voiced. In fact, many thoughts, especially the fleeting, unfiltered ones, are better left unspoken. We live in a time when everyone feels entitled to express their opinion, but the truth is, not every opinion or thought needs to be shared. The mind is a complex and constantly churning engine of ideas, emotions, and perceptions. However, not all of these thoughts are helpful, productive, or even true. If we allowed every thought to escape our minds and be spoken into the world, we would quickly find ourselves contributing to chaos rather than peace. The strength lies in recognizing that not every thought needs to be voiced. Sometimes, the best choice is silence. By practicing discernment, you start to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and control. You begin to understand the difference between a thought that serves you and others, and one that only causes confusion, conflict, or unnecessary stress. For example, have you ever caught yourself about to say something in the heat of the moment, something that you know might hurt someone's feelings or spark an argument? How many times have you said something just to fill the silence, or because you felt compelled to say something, even though it didn't truly add value? By resisting the urge to speak every thought, you empower yourself to gain more control over your mind. Silence allows you to practice emotional regulation and avoid saying things that you might regret later. It's about taking a moment to pause and assess whether your words are necessary, kind, or constructive. This doesn't mean suppressing your thoughts or feelings. It means filtering them before they spill out, allowing only those that truly contribute to your growth or the well-being of others. The truth is, not all of your thoughts need to be shared, and not everyone needs to know what's going on in your head at all times. Some thoughts are simply for you, insights, reflections, or realizations that are personal and require no external validation. When you hold your tongue and keep certain thoughts to yourself, you protect your peace and maintain control over your mental energy. Think of a powerful leader or a skilled martial artist. Their strength doesn't lie in their ability to express every thought as it comes. Instead, they are masters of restraint. They know when to speak, when to listen, and when to stay quiet. They've learned that not all words are created equal, and only the most valuable, intentional ones should be shared. They practice a kind of mental discipline that doesn't allow every thought to take root in conversation. They understand that silence often speaks louder than words, especially when it is chosen deliberately. Additionally, when you choose not to express every thought, you are protecting your relationships. Unfiltered words, often spoken in frustration or haste, can damage trust, hurt feelings, and create unnecessary tension. It's easy to say things in the heat of the moment that can leave lasting consequences, but a thoughtful pause and a decision to remain silent allow you to avoid these pitfalls. By holding back, you protect not only your inner peace, but also your relationships and the way others perceive you. Silence isn't about shutting down your emotions or pretending to be something you're not. It's about being selective and intentional with your words. It's about understanding that some thoughts are for your own reflection and personal growth and do not require validation from others. By practicing this kind of mindfulness, you also develop emotional maturity, recognizing that true wisdom doesn't lie in reacting impulsively, but in choosing your responses carefully. When you speak less and think more deeply, you will find that your words become more powerful and more meaningful because they come from a place of understanding, not reaction. So the next time you feel compelled to speak, pause for a moment. Reflect on whether your words will build, heal, or create understanding. If they won't, don't be afraid to remain silent. By mastering the art of not speaking every thought, you open the door to deeper wisdom and greater peace. Your words will become more meaningful, and you will be seen as someone who truly knows how to speak with purpose, not just volume. This is the power of not giving every thought a voice. Train your mind, and your mouth will follow. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, silence requires practice to strengthen your mental discipline. Imagine silence as a gym for your mind. The more you engage with it, the sharper and more resilient your mind becomes. In a world that constantly demands your attention, silence acts as a powerful tool to refocus, regain clarity, and cultivate inner strength. When you make silence a part of your routine, you're essentially training your mind to become more disciplined, more intentional, and more powerful. Many people don't realize how much mental energy is wasted in noise, both external and internal. External noise comes from the constant chatter around us, the media, social interactions, and the endless flow of information. Internal noise comes from the constant swirl of thoughts in our minds, many of which are unproductive or distracting. This noise distracts us from clarity and peace of mind. To combat this, we need to train our minds the way we would train our muscles at the gym. Just as lifting weights strengthens the body, embracing silence strengthens the mind. When you first begin practicing silence, it can be uncomfortable. Your mind may race, filled with all the things you think you should be doing or saying. But just like physical exercise, it's in the discomfort that growth happens. When you commit to sitting in silence, you're giving your mind the opportunity to calm down and clear out unnecessary thoughts. The more you embrace these moments of stillness, the easier it becomes to maintain focus, reduce mental clutter, and stay in control of your emotions. Silence is also a powerful tool for mindfulness. It's not just about being quiet, it's about being present. In silence, you can train yourself to focus on your thoughts and feelings without judgment or reaction. It's about creating a space where you can observe your emotions without being carried away by them. Silence allows you to step back from your thoughts, creating a mental buffer where you can make better decisions and act with more clarity and purpose. Training your mind through silence also helps to develop emotional resilience. Life is full of challenges, and the ability to remain calm in the face of adversity is a sign of a strong mind. Just as a weightlifter increases their strength through regular exercise, your mental toughness increases as you practice silence. It's in these moments of stillness that you build emotional control. Instead of reacting impulsively when something triggers you, you learn to pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully. Moreover, silence is an essential tool for reflection. In the chaos of daily life, it's easy to overlook important lessons or insights that might come from introspection. Silence gives you the space to reflect on your actions, your goals, and your relationships. When you're not constantly talking or reacting, you can hear your inner voice more clearly, helping you make better decisions and grow as an individual. Through regular practice, you'll find that you start making decisions more from a place of inner wisdom, not impulsive reactions or external pressures. Another benefit of silence as your mental gym is that it helps you strengthen your ability to focus. Focus is one of the most valuable skills in today's world, where distractions are everywhere. Silence trains your brain to stay on task, to tune out distractions, and to give your full attention to what matters. The more you practice silence, the more you develop the ability to block out the noise of the world and direct your attention to the task at hand. Silence also nurtures creativity. When we constantly speak or listen to others, we often block out our own creative thoughts. Silence provides a mental space for ideas to flourish. Whether you're problem-solving, brainstorming, or looking for inspiration, silence gives your brain the freedom to come up with new ideas without interruption. It's in these quiet moments that our best ideas often come to the surface. The mental gym of silence is not just about emptying your mind, it's about strengthening it. It's about building the mental discipline that allows you to control your thoughts, focus your energy, and respond with intention rather than reaction. Just as lifting weights increases muscle mass and strength, embracing silence increases mental strength, emotional resilience, and clarity of thought. So treat silence as an essential part of your daily routine. Make it a practice, just like physical exercise. Start with a few minutes of quiet each day and gradually increase the time as you become more comfortable with it. As you train your mind through silence, you'll find that your ability to navigate life's challenges with calmness, clarity, and confidence grows. Silence isn't just a break from the noise. It's a workout for your mind, a place where you can grow stronger, more focused, and more resilient. And in that strength, you will find the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. When you explain yourself too much, you dilute your power. In today's world, there's a constant pressure to justify your decisions, explain your actions, and seek validation from others. We feel compelled to explain why we do what we do, why we make the choices we make, or why we think the way we do. This often comes from a place of insecurity or fear. Fear that people might not understand us or that we might be judged. However, constantly explaining yourself is not only exhausting, but it also weakens your power and hinders your growth. Think about it. Every time you find yourself explaining yourself, you're essentially giving away a piece of your personal energy. You're putting yourself in a position where you feel the need to justify your actions to others. In doing so, you dilute your sense of confidence and power. You begin to rely too much on external approval and validation, instead of trusting your own judgment and inner strength. The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for living your life according to your values, your goals, and your vision. The more you explain yourself, the more you create a cycle of self-doubt. You end up second-guessing yourself, trying to align your actions with other people's expectations, rather than staying true to your own path. This constant need to explain can lead to a lack of focus and clarity. It takes away from the time and energy you could be using to create, build, and improve yourself. The key to personal growth lies in freeing yourself from the need for approval. When you stop explaining yourself, you reclaim your power and regain control of your life. A truly empowered person is not someone who spends all their time trying to convince others of their worth. They understand that their actions speak for themselves. If you live in alignment with your purpose and make decisions based on your values, you don't need to justify your choices to anyone. Your integrity, your results, and your growth will speak for you. People will begin to respect you more when they see that you don't feel the need to explain or justify your every move. They'll recognize that you are secure in your decisions and confident in your ability to move forward, no matter what anyone else thinks. Imagine how much energy you could free up if you stopped explaining yourself to others. Think about all the time you spend trying to make others understand your choices or defend your actions. That time and energy could be spent on taking action, improving yourself, and focusing on your goals. Instead of explaining, you could be creating, building, and growing. You would no longer be caught in the cycle of seeking validation or approval. You would trust yourself and your instincts, knowing that they are enough. Another important aspect of this is the realization that not everyone needs to understand you. Not everyone will agree with your decisions, and that's okay. In fact, that's a sign that you're staying true to your own path. If everyone around you always agrees with you or understands your every move, you might not be pushing yourself hard enough or thinking for yourself. Growth often comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and making decisions that others might not fully comprehend. And that's perfectly fine. If you're constantly seeking approval, you're limiting your potential. Instead of explaining yourself, start embracing silence. Let your actions speak louder than any words you could ever say. When you make a decision, stick with it. Move forward with confidence, and let your results demonstrate the power of your choices. Your actions will create a ripple effect that will inspire others to follow your example. When you stop explaining yourself, you also stop seeking approval. This is how you build the confidence to follow your own path, no matter where it leads. When you stop justifying every decision you make, you also start to trust yourself more. You learn to rely on your intuition and inner guidance instead of constantly checking with others for validation. This leads to greater clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself because you are secure in your decisions. You know that as long as you are acting in alignment with your values and purpose, you are on the right path. In essence, explaining yourself too much shows a lack of trust in your own judgment. When you believe in yourself, you won't feel the need to explain every decision you make. This doesn't mean you stop listening to others or considering their perspectives, but it does mean you stop seeking approval for your choices. You trust yourself enough to stand by your decisions, no matter what anyone else thinks. So the next time you catch yourself explaining something to someone, take a step back. Ask yourself, why am I explaining myself? Do I need this person's approval to move forward? Trust your instincts and stop wasting energy justifying your actions. Your growth will accelerate when you stop explaining yourself and start acting with purpose, confidence, and unwavering trust in your own path. When you achieve peace within, nothing on the outside can disturb you. In the relentless noise of modern life, inner peace has become a rare and invaluable commodity. Yet the secret to achieving true peace lies in silence. In silence, you disconnect from the distractions of the world, quiet your inner dialogue, and give yourself the space to reconnect with your true self. This process of cultivating inner peace is not a passive state. It is an active choice and a powerful force that will shape every aspect of your life. The world is full of external distractions, constant news cycles, social media, personal dramas, work pressures, and the endless stream of information we are bombarded with daily. All of these external sources of noise can disturb your peace of mind and pull you away from what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos, but the more you let the outside world dictate your emotions, the more control you give away. True strength comes from within, and the first step in reclaiming that strength is silence. Silence isn't about simply avoiding noise or escaping from the world. It's about creating space for yourself to find clarity, stillness, and a deep sense of calm. When you embrace silence, you start to clear the clutter in your mind. This mental clarity allows you to make better decisions, respond more thoughtfully to challenges, and live with a sense of calm purpose. In the silence, you hear your true thoughts, your desires, and your instincts without the interference of external opinions or judgments. This is the first step to achieving inner peace. Inner peace is more than just a feeling of relaxation. It's a profound sense of tranquility that comes from within. It is the ability to remain calm, centered, and undisturbed no matter what is happening around you. When you build inner peace through silence, you develop the ability to withstand the storms of life. Challenges, hardships, and conflict no longer have the power to knock you off course. You begin to respond to situations rather than react impulsively, because your inner peace acts as a steady anchor that keeps you grounded. This inner peace becomes a superpower. When you cultivate the ability to remain calm and focused in any situation, you become unstoppable. Nothing can shake your confidence or distract you from your purpose. The challenges that once seemed overwhelming will no longer intimidate you. You'll face them with the quiet strength and clarity that only inner peace can provide. The world may try to pull you in different directions, but when you are at peace with yourself, you have the ability to stay true to your values and your vision. Your decisions come from a place of strength, not fear or confusion. The more you cultivate silence, the more you reinforce this inner peace, and the more naturally it will manifest in your life. It's like building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. In addition to building resilience, inner peace brings about a profound sense of freedom. When you are at peace with yourself, you no longer feel the need to control everything or everyone around you. You let go of the constant desire to explain yourself, seek validation, or chase external approval. You realize that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by your own sense of self and your ability to stay centered, no matter the external circumstances. As your inner peace strengthens, it begins to influence every area of your life. It impacts your relationships, your work, and your overall well-being. You become less reactive in your interactions, more present in your conversations, and more compassionate toward others. When you are at peace within, you radiate that peace to the world around you. People are naturally drawn to your calm presence, and you find that your relationships deepen and your interactions become more meaningful. Inner peace also creates a sense of balance. Life will always have ups and downs, successes and failures, joys and sorrows. However, when you are at peace with yourself, you are not tossed around by the ebb and flow of life. You become like a calm lake, unaffected by the winds that blow across its surface. This balance allows you to enjoy the good moments more fully, while navigating the difficult moments with grace and resilience. You don't let the temporary setbacks define your outlook on life, because you understand that peace isn't dependent on external circumstances. It's a state of being that you carry with you, no matter what happens around you. The practice of silence is the gateway to this inner peace. It's in those quiet moments that you give yourself permission to rest, reflect, and recharge. It's in those moments that you reconnect with your core self, away from the noise of the world. The more you make silence a part of your daily routine, the more naturally inner peace will take root in your life. And as that peace grows, so does your sense of power. Your inner peace becomes a superpower because, with it, you are no longer at the mercy of life's chaos. You have the strength to remain calm, focused, and centered in the face of any challenge. So, embrace silence. Use it as a tool to build your inner peace. Find moments each day to sit in quiet reflection, free from distractions, and let your mind and spirit rest. Through this practice, you will cultivate a peace that nothing on the outside can disturb. And in that peace, you will find the strength to move through life with clarity, resilience, and unwavering confidence. The power of inner peace is within your reach. It's waiting for you in the silence. In the stillness of silence, the mind finds its true power. In our modern world, creativity is often viewed as a constant burst of inspiration, a rapid exchange of ideas, and a fast-paced flow of thoughts. We're told that in order to be creative, we must be constantly active, constantly working, constantly producing, but this couldn't be further from the truth. True creativity is nurtured in silence. It is in these quiet moments, when we step away from the noise and distractions, that our most brilliant ideas are born. Silence creates the space for the mind to relax, to think deeply, and to come up with ideas that we may not have been able to access in the constant rush of life. When we live in a world that's constantly demanding our attention, whether it's our phone buzzing, emails flooding in, or conversations happening around us, it's easy to feel disconnected from our own thoughts and creative potential. Constant stimulation can drain our energy and make it difficult to focus or think clearly. But silence, on the other hand, is like a reset button for the mind. It allows you to clear away the distractions and tap into the depths of your own creativity. The truth is, we cannot be creative in a state of constant chaos. The more you expose yourself to noise, the harder it becomes to hear your own thoughts, let alone nurture new ones. It's only in silence that your mind can find clarity and peace. In this space, the clutter of everyday life falls away, and you can connect with your inner self, where your most innovative ideas and solutions lie waiting to be discovered. Silence is the fertile ground where ideas grow. Think about some of the most iconic creative minds in history, whether it's in the world of art, music, literature, or innovation. Many of them credited their greatest achievements to moments of quiet reflection. They were able to step away from the distractions and noise of the world and create in a space of stillness. When you embrace silence, you are giving yourself the opportunity to tune into that same creative flow. It's in these quiet moments that you'll have your breakthrough ideas, solve complex problems, and create work that has meaning and depth. Creativity isn't just about coming up with new ideas, it's about refining and enhancing existing ones. Silence provides the space to explore your thoughts without interference. It's in this mental stillness that you can dive deeper into a problem, reimagine an existing concept, or develop a more profound understanding of the work you're doing. When we take the time to sit in silence and allow our thoughts to unfold, we begin to see patterns and connections that we couldn't have seen otherwise. The answers often lie in the space between the noise, waiting to be uncovered. Silence allows your mind to rest. It's in these quiet, restful moments that you recharge your mental energy, which in turn allows you to think more clearly and effectively. Rest and relaxation are essential for creativity. Just as physical fatigue can impact your performance in the gym, mental fatigue can drain your creative capacity. Silence gives you the chance to reset, to step away from the constant pressure to produce, and to come back to your work with a fresh perspective. After moments of quiet reflection, you'll find that you are able to approach challenges with renewed energy and clarity. The power of silence in nurturing creativity also lies in its ability to foster mindfulness. When you are mindful in silence, you are not simply allowing your mind to wander aimlessly. Instead, you are consciously focusing on the present moment, observing your thoughts, and allowing your intuition to guide you. This kind of mindfulness helps to quiet the noise in your head, letting the best ideas and solutions naturally surface. Silence, therefore, becomes a tool for deepening your awareness, sharpening your focus, and honing your creative potential. In a world that demands constant productivity, the idea of taking time for silence might seem counterintuitive. After all, we're often told that in order to succeed, we must always be busy, always be working. But the truth is, the most successful, innovative, and creative individuals understand the value of silence. They know that creativity cannot be forced or rushed. It must be allowed to emerge naturally, without pressure, without distraction. Embracing silence is about creating a space for creativity to flow. It's about allowing your mind the freedom to wander, explore, and think deeply. It's in these quiet moments that we often find our best ideas, the solutions to problems we've been struggling with, and the clarity we need to move forward. Silence is not a void. It is a fertile space, full of potential. When you embrace it, you unlock the creative power that lies within you. The next time you find yourself struggling with a problem, feeling stuck, or lacking inspiration, don't immediately reach for your phone or try to force a solution. Instead, take a step back and create some silence. Go for a walk, sit in stillness, or simply pause for a moment of reflection. You'll be amazed at how quickly your mind begins to unclutter and how effortlessly new ideas begin to flow. It is in these moments of silence that creativity thrives, and when you make silence a regular part of your life, you will find that your ideas, your clarity, and your productivity will reach new heights. In silence, you discover that the answers you seek were always within you. They just needed the space to emerge. In the quiet moments, we find the strength to withstand the storms of life. Life is unpredictable. It is full of ups and downs, moments of joy, and moments of hardship. In times of challenge or adversity, the ability to stay calm, composed, and resilient can make all the difference. While many people react impulsively to life's difficulties, becoming frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed, the true power lies in the ability to remain grounded, regardless of the circumstances. This is where silence plays a key role in strengthening emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and stay composed when faced with stress, setbacks, or adversity. It's the ability to withstand life's storms without being shattered by them. But building this kind of resilience isn't about avoiding emotions or suppressing your feelings. It's about finding strength in the quiet moments and developing the capacity to respond rather than react to whatever life throws your way. Silence is the key to unlocking this inner strength, as it allows you to take a step back, regain perspective, and choose how you will respond to a situation, rather than simply reacting in the heat of the moment. When life throws challenges your way, whether it's a difficult relationship, a career setback, or personal struggles, it's easy to let your emotions take control. Fear, anger, frustration, and doubt can flood your mind, clouding your judgment and making it difficult to think clearly. But silence provides a buffer between stimulus and response. By taking a moment of silence, you give yourself the opportunity to breathe, reflect, and calm your emotions before taking any action. This pause is essential in building emotional resilience because it allows you to choose your response with intention, rather than letting your emotions dictate your actions. In moments of silence, you reconnect with your inner self, your core values, and your deeper sense of purpose. When faced with adversity, it's easy to get lost in the noise and chaos of external events. The more you allow yourself to be swept away by external circumstances, the harder it becomes to stay centered and calm. Silence, on the other hand, helps you filter out the noise and reconnect with your inner strength. When you have a strong sense of self, built through quiet reflection and self-awareness, you can weather any storm with grace and confidence. Think about it. How often do you find yourself reacting impulsively when things don't go according to plan? How many times have you allowed frustration or stress to dictate your actions? Now imagine if you had the ability to remain calm and focused in the face of adversity, taking a step back and choosing your response carefully. This is the power of silence. It gives you the space to detach from your immediate emotional reactions and respond in a way that serves you and your long-term goals. Silence also helps you process difficult emotions. In a fast-paced world where people often distract themselves from their feelings with constant noise or activity, it's easy to ignore or suppress difficult emotions. However, these emotions don't go away on their own. They build up over time, leading to burnout, stress, and emotional exhaustion. Silence, however, offers the opportunity to sit with your emotions, to fully experience them, and to process them without judgment. By allowing yourself to feel your emotions in silence, you develop the ability to move through them with greater ease and understanding. You stop avoiding your emotions, and instead, you become more in tune with them. allowing you to handle them in a healthier, more balanced way. One of the most powerful aspects of silence in building emotional resilience is its ability to foster mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It is the ability to observe your thoughts, feelings, and reactions without being controlled by them. Silence provides the perfect environment for mindfulness to thrive. In the absence of external noise, you can focus inward and develop a deeper awareness of your emotional state. This awareness gives you the tools to recognize when you're slipping into negative thought patterns or emotional reactions and to course correct before they take over. Over time, regular moments of silence help to rewire your brain, making you more adept at managing stress and maintaining emotional balance. Just as physical exercise strengthens your body, silence strengthens your emotional resilience. The more you practice sitting in silence, the easier it becomes to navigate challenging situations without being overwhelmed. You learn to trust yourself and your ability to stay calm and composed no matter what comes your way. Another aspect of silence that contributes to emotional resilience is its role in self-reflection. When you make time for silence in your life, you give yourself the space to reflect on your actions, reactions, and personal growth. Self-reflection is essential for emotional resilience because it allows you to learn from your experiences and grow stronger with each challenge you face. By taking the time to evaluate your emotions and responses in the quiet of your mind, you gain valuable insights that can help you handle similar situations more effectively in the future. Moreover, silence allows you to reframe your perspective on adversity. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. When you practice silence regularly, you create a mindset that sees setbacks as temporary and solvable, rather than as threats to your emotional stability. This shift in mindset is what gives you the power to overcome life's challenges with resilience and determination. As you cultivate emotional resilience through silence, you will also notice a greater sense of peace and contentment in your life. Life will always have its ups and downs, but with a strong foundation of inner peace, you will navigate those fluctuations with calm confidence. You will be less likely to be swept away by the currents of negative emotions and external pressures, and more likely to stay anchored in your own strength and clarity. Silence is not just a tool for personal growth. It is a powerful ally in building emotional resilience. It provides the space to process emotions, gain perspective, and develop the mental fortitude to face life's challenges. By embracing silence, you create a buffer between yourself and the outside world, allowing you to respond to adversity with strength, grace, and wisdom. In this space of quiet reflection, you find the resilience to overcome anything that life throws your way and the inner peace to stay grounded no matter what. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. In a world full of distractions, silence is one of the most powerful tools to cultivate self-discipline and focus. With endless stimuli bombarding us every day, whether it's our phones, social media, or even the demands of our personal and professional lives, staying focused on our goals and maintaining the discipline to see them through can feel like an overwhelming task. But silence provides the space we need to harness our energy, sharpen our focus, and strengthen our ability to discipline ourselves in all areas of life. Self-discipline is the ability to control your behavior, to stay focused on your goals, and to consistently take actions that align with your long-term objectives, even when it's challenging. It's not something that comes naturally to most people. It's a muscle that needs to be developed. Silence plays a critical role in strengthening this muscle. When we embrace moments of quiet and stillness, we create the space for our minds to focus on what truly matters, free from the noise and distractions that can so easily derail us. Silence helps you quiet the mental chatter that often distracts you from your goals. How often have you found yourself distracted by thoughts, worries, or even just the overwhelming pull of external noise? This constant mental noise can drain your energy and attention, leaving you feeling scattered and unfocused. But silence is the antidote. When you practice silence, you allow your mind to clear and center itself, giving you the ability to focus fully on the task at hand. It's in this clarity that self-discipline flourishes. The more you practice silence, the more you teach your brain to focus and block out distractions. Silence also enables you to develop greater emotional control. Often, when we're caught up in the noise of life, we let our emotions take control. We react impulsively, allowing frustration, stress, or impatience to dictate our actions. But silence helps you gain control over your emotions. When you make space for silence, you learn to pause and reflect before reacting. This pause is crucial for building self-discipline. It allows you to think before you speak or act, giving you the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Over time, this practice of self-control becomes second nature, strengthening your discipline and ability to stay focused on what matters most. In addition to fostering emotional control, silence helps you become more mindful of your habits. Self-discipline isn't just about resisting temptation, it's about creating habits that align with your goals. When you take time to reflect in silence, you become more aware of your patterns, both positive and negative. You begin to notice the habits that are helping you achieve your goals and those that are holding you back. Silence provides the opportunity to examine your behavior without judgment, allowing you to identify areas where you need to improve and areas where you're already excelling. This self-awareness is a critical component of self-discipline, as it enables you to take proactive steps to shape your life in alignment with your desires. Furthermore, silence is the perfect space for planning and goal setting. Without the distractions of the outside world, you can focus deeply on your vision for the future. It's in silence that you can reflect on your goals, break them down into manageable steps, and create a plan of action. This planning process is essential for cultivating self-discipline. When you have a clear, organized plan in place, it becomes easier to stay on track and resist distractions. Silence allows you to think strategically, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your long-term vision. Another key aspect of silence in building self-discipline is that it provides you with the mental and emotional energy necessary to stay consistent. Consistency is one of the most important factors in achieving long-term success. But consistency can be difficult to maintain when we're constantly bombarded by distractions. Silence helps you conserve your mental energy, allowing you to focus it on your goals and build the habits necessary to succeed. The more you practice silence, the more you'll find that you can stay disciplined over the long haul, even when faced with challenges or temptations. Silence also teaches you the value of patience. In a world that values instant gratification, silence teaches you to be patient with yourself, your progress, and your goals. When you embrace silence, you understand that success doesn't happen overnight. You learn to trust the process and take one step at a time. This mindset is essential for self-discipline because it helps you stay committed, even when the path ahead seems long or difficult. With patience, you can stay focused on the journey rather than getting frustrated by the destination. By regularly incorporating silence into your life, you'll begin to notice a shift in your mindset. You'll become more intentional in your actions, more disciplined in your habits, and more focused on your goals. Silence allows you to clear away the clutter and distractions that prevent you from living up to your potential. It gives you the clarity and mental space to make decisions that align with your true desires, and the emotional control to stick to those decisions when times get tough. Silence is an essential tool for cultivating self-discipline and focus. It provides the mental clarity, emotional control, and self-awareness needed to stay committed to your goals. By embracing moments of stillness, you develop the ability to block out distractions, plan effectively, and take consistent action toward your dreams. Silence strengthens your self-discipline, helping you to stay on course and achieve long-term success. It is a powerful tool that, when practiced regularly, will help you unlock your full potential and move forward with unwavering focus and determination. In silence, you hear the whispers of your soul and the guidance of the universe. In our fast-paced world, where everything moves at a rapid pace and distractions are ever present, it can be easy to feel disconnected from ourselves, others, and even the deeper meaning of life. We often seek fulfillment through external sources, material success, recognition, or the approval of others. But true spiritual growth comes from within, and it is in silence that we can connect with our innermost selves and the world around us in a deeper, more meaningful way. Spirituality is not a destination. It is a journey of inner discovery, growth, and alignment with a greater purpose. It involves connecting with something larger than ourselves, whether that is the divine, nature, the universe, or our own soul. But in order to truly deepen our spiritual connection, we must create the space to hear and listen to the quiet whispers that guide us. Silence is the key that opens the door to this profound connection. When we embrace silence, we allow ourselves to step away from the noise of the external world and tune into the inner currents of our spirit. In the stillness, we can connect with our own deeper thoughts, emotions, and intuitions. This is when we can hear the subtle messages that the universe is sending us, messages that often go unnoticed in the chaos of daily life. Silence allows us to slow down, to reflect, and to understand the deeper truths that lie within us. By embracing moments of silence, we are creating the space necessary for our spiritual growth to unfold. One of the most important aspects of spiritual growth is the practice of presence. In today's world, we are constantly rushing, constantly striving for the next thing, and constantly looking for external validation. We often fail to appreciate the present moment because we're too caught up in our thoughts about the past or the future. Silence, however, brings us into the present. It grounds us in the here and now, allowing us to fully experience and appreciate life as it is. When we quiet our minds and allow ourselves to be present in the moment, we deepen our connection to the world around us and to the divine. Spiritual growth is not just about seeking answers, but about embracing the unknown. It's about learning to trust and surrender to the flow of life. Silence helps us develop this trust. It allows us to let go of the constant need to control or manipulate circumstances, and instead, open ourselves up to the divine guidance that is available to us at all times. In the quiet moments, we come to realize that everything is unfolding as it should, and that we are exactly where we need to be. Silence nurtures this understanding, teaching us patience and faith as we move through our spiritual journey. The beauty of silence in spiritual practice is that it invites us to listen, not just to external teachings, but to the voice of our own soul. In silence, we begin to hear the truth within us, the deep yearnings of our spirit that are often overshadowed by the noise of the world. It is in these quiet moments that we gain clarity about our purpose, our path, and our values. Silence allows us to reconnect with our true essence, free from the influence of societal expectations or the opinions of others. Moreover, silence provides the opportunity for deep reflection and meditation, practices that are fundamental to spiritual growth. In meditation, we quiet the mind, release distractions, and center our focus on the present moment. This is when we can access higher states of consciousness and experience profound insights. Through regular periods of silence, we deepen our meditation practice and invite spiritual breakthroughs. These moments of stillness allow us to attune to a higher frequency, where we can receive guidance, healing, and wisdom that transcend the limitations of our everyday thoughts. Silence also strengthens our connection to the divine or a higher power. Whether through prayer, contemplation, or simply being present with the universe, silence creates the space for us to receive divine inspiration and insight. It is in these moments that we open ourselves up to the wisdom of the universe and allow ourselves to be guided by forces greater than ourselves. Whether you believe in God, nature, or the collective consciousness of humanity, silence connects you to something greater, helping you align with the energy and purpose that guides all of creation. As we move through life, the noise of our thoughts and the busyness of our daily activities often drown out the deeper truths we are seeking. We forget that everything we need to grow spiritually is already inside us. Silence serves as a reminder that we are connected to something far greater than our physical existence. In the stillness, we rediscover our oneness with the universe and with all living things. Silence helps us reconnect with our innate wisdom and our deep spiritual nature. The more we make space for silence in our lives, the more we invite spiritual growth. Silence helps us clear the mental clutter and open ourselves to higher consciousness. It helps us connect with our soul, listen to the divine guidance that surrounds us, and step into alignment with our higher purpose. Through silence, we come to know ourselves more deeply and connect with the divine forces that are always at work in our lives. It is in the quiet moments that we find our greatest clarity, our deepest wisdom, and our most profound sense of peace. Silence is one of the most powerful tools for nurturing spiritual connection and growth. It creates the space for reflection, contemplation, and meditation, allowing us to tune into the deeper aspects of our being. It enables us to quiet the noise and listen to the subtle messages of the universe, helping us align with our higher purpose. Silence is the doorway through which we access our inner wisdom and our connection to the divine. Embrace silence, and in doing so, you open yourself to a deeper, more fulfilling spiritual journey. True leadership is not about being in charge, but about taking care of those in your charge. Effective leadership requires more than just strategic thinking, vision, and the ability to inspire others. At its core, leadership is about integrity, the ability to stay true to your values, make decisions based on your principles, and act in alignment with your highest sense of responsibility. Silence plays a critical role in cultivating and maintaining this integrity. When you embrace moments of silence, you gain the clarity, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence needed to lead with authenticity and purpose. In the chaos of daily life and the fast-paced demands of leadership, it's easy to make impulsive decisions, respond to crises reactively, or let the external pressures of expectations push you into compromising your values. But silence provides the space you need to step back and reflect before you act. It allows you to quiet the noise of external opinions and internal anxieties, helping you make decisions that are rooted in your core principles rather than in temporary emotions or fleeting distractions. Leaders who practice silence are able to create a clear and calm mental space in which they can assess situations objectively and thoughtfully. In moments of silence, you can gather your thoughts, center yourself, and evaluate the best course of action without being swayed by external pressures or emotions. This is essential for maintaining integrity. When you lead from a place of calm and clarity, you are less likely to make decisions based on fear, ego, or short-term gains. Instead, you will be guided by a deeper sense of purpose and responsibility, making choices that are aligned with the values you hold dear. Silence also enhances your emotional intelligence, which is critical to leading with integrity. Emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others, is a key component of effective leadership. It is in the moments of silence that you can develop this skill. When you embrace silence, you create the mental space to reflect on your own emotional responses, to better understand the emotions of those around you, and to act with empathy and compassion. Leaders who practice silence are able to listen deeply, not just to the words being spoken, but to the emotions and needs behind those words. This deep listening enables them to connect with others on a deeper level, to respond with understanding, and to lead with compassion and respect. Furthermore, Silence nurtures the self-awareness that is essential to maintaining integrity. Leadership requires you to constantly check in with yourself, your motivations, your values, and your actions. Without this self-awareness, it's easy to lose sight of your core principles and become swayed by external pressures, praise, or criticism. Silence provides the opportunity for regular self-reflection, allowing you to assess whether your actions are in alignment with your values. It's in these quiet moments that you can check in with your own heart and mind, ensuring that you are leading authentically and not compromising your integrity for the sake of convenience or approval. Leaders who practice silence also demonstrate a level of humility. Humility is a cornerstone of integrity because it allows you to stay grounded, to recognize that you don't have all the answers, and to acknowledge when you need help or guidance. In silence, you can reflect on your strengths and weaknesses and recognize areas where you need to grow. This self-awareness helps you remain open to feedback, willing to learn from others, and humble in your leadership. Instead of feeling the need to assert dominance or control, you can lead from a place of service, compassion, and openness. Silence also gives leaders the space to practice patience. Leadership often requires making difficult decisions under pressure, and in these moments, it's easy to act impulsively or rush through decisions in the hope of resolving an issue quickly. But great leaders know that patience is essential for long-term success. Silence allows you to pause, breathe, and approach challenges with a level of calm that fosters careful deliberation. In those quiet moments, you can reflect on the bigger picture, the long-term impact of your decisions, and the well-being of the people you are leading. This patience allows you to lead in a way that is not reactive, but instead thoughtful and deliberate. One of the most powerful aspects of silence in leadership is its ability to enhance your presence. Leadership is not just about what you say or do, it's about how you make others feel. When you lead with integrity, you exude a calm, quiet confidence that inspires trust and respect. Silence helps you cultivate this presence. By being comfortable with silence and not feeling the need to constantly speak or fill the space with words, you show others that you are a leader who listens, thinks before acting, and remains grounded in your values. This presence creates a sense of security and trust among those you lead, as they know that you are not swayed by external pressures but are committed to acting with integrity, regardless of the circumstances. Silence helps you connect with your deeper sense of purpose. Leadership is often about making decisions that will benefit the greater good, even when those decisions are difficult. Silence allows you to reflect on your larger vision and align your actions with your highest purpose. When you lead with a clear sense of purpose, you inspire others to do the same. People follow leaders who are grounded in their values, who lead from a place of authenticity, and who demonstrate a deep commitment to what matters most. Silence helps you stay aligned with that purpose and lead with conviction. Silence is a powerful tool for cultivating leadership with integrity. It provides the space for self-reflection, emotional intelligence, and thoughtful decision-making. It helps you remain grounded in your values, maintain patience, and demonstrate humility. Leaders who embrace silence are better equipped to make decisions that are aligned with their core principles and to lead with authenticity, compassion, and clarity. By incorporating silence into your leadership practice, you will strengthen your ability to lead with integrity, inspire others, and create a lasting, positive impact. Silence doesn't make you less of a leader. It makes you a better one. It's in the quiet moments that true leadership is born. In a world that constantly demands more noise, more distractions, more stimulation, the power of silence is often overlooked. Yet silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a vital, transformative force that holds the potential to shape every aspect of your life. Whether you are seeking personal growth, emotional resilience, creativity, or spiritual connection, silence provides the clarity, space, and focus needed to thrive. By embracing silence, you unlock your ability to think more deeply, act with intention, and connect with your truest self. It allows you to quiet the external noise and the internal chatter, so you can make decisions based on your highest values, not on the fleeting pressures of the moment. Silence fosters emotional strength, self-discipline, and clarity, helping you become more present, more focused, and more grounded. In your leadership journey, silence helps you lead with integrity, empathy, and confidence. It enables you to listen more deeply, reflect on your choices, and align your actions with your core values. As you grow in silence, you begin to recognize the power of choosing when to speak and when to act, knowing that true strength comes from within and that your actions speak louder than your words. Silence is the gateway to profound transformation. It offers you the time to connect with your deeper purpose, to cultivate the inner peace that strengthens your resilience, and to create the space necessary for creativity and spiritual growth. By making silence a regular part of your life, you can unlock the potential to become a more focused, compassionate, and impactful version of yourself. So, embrace the silence. Let it guide you to clarity, to self-discovery, and to the life you are meant to lead. It is in the quiet moments that true power is born. And in that stillness, you will find the strength to rise above the noise of the world and step into your fullest potential.